These are the 10 most genius moments in the career of Luke Littler, a player who before his 20th birthday had already done things that took Phil Taylor and Michael van Gerwen decades to achieve. Littler turned professional in 2024 as a 16-year-old who had been throwing darts since he was 18 months old, starting out on a magnetic dartboard that his father bought from a pound shop. His mother worked in a candle shop. Warrington is where he grew up, failing his driving theory test multiple times, staying up until 3 in the morning on his Xbox, sleeping until 1 in the afternoon, and putting in roughly 20 to 45 minutes of practice a day. And by 19, that lifestyle had produced 12 PDC major titles, 2 World Championship trophies, a PDC Triple Crown, World #1 status, 4 televised 9-dart finishes, and a 10-year sponsorship deal worth up to £20 million. These are the 10 moments that show exactly how he got there. On the 12th of February 2024, Luke Littler walked into his first ever PDC Players Championship event in Wigan without having played a single match on the professional tour before that day, and he was 16 years old. During that run, he hit a 9-dart finish, then beat Ryan Searle in the final with a reported average of 109 and left Wigan as a Players Championship winner on debut. What nobody expected was that this was actually a pattern. 9-darters followed him everywhere. To his debut at the Bahrain Darts Masters, to his first Belgian Darts Open final, to his debut Premier League final. Every time Littler entered a new format, the result was the same, and he announced himself at the highest possible level, on the biggest possible stage, in the most decisive way imaginable. No player in darts history has done that across so many different formats in such a short window of time. 2 days before his 17th birthday, on the 19th of January 2024, Luke Littler walked onto the stage at the Bahrain Darts Masters for a quarter-final against Nathan Aspinall, and in the opening leg of the match, he hit 180, another 180, then closed with treble 20, treble 19, double 12. A 9-dart finish in the very first leg, thrown at 16 years and 363 days old, making him the youngest player in the history of professional darts to hit a televised 9-darter. From there, the tournament played out like a demolition. Aspinall fell 6-3, Gerwen Price went 7-3 in the semi-final, with Littler hitting 170 checkout along the way, and Van Gerwen was beaten 8-5 in the final. Littler had only received his PDC Tour card 5 months earlier, and that's when he became the youngest player ever to win a World Series of Darts title, and only the second after Phil Taylor to hit a 9-darter in a World Series event. The whole tournament, from that opening 9-darter to the trophy against Van Gerwen, played out in the 48 hours before he turned 17. The 2024 Grand Slam of Darts in Wolverhampton was where Littler first showed the world he could perform at the highest level, not just under pressure, but from the brink of elimination. Last 16, facing Mike De Decker, Littler fell 8-4 down, and then trailed 9-7 before De Decker stepped up for a 170 checkout at bullseye that would have given him match darts. De Decker missed, and Littler won 6 of the last 7 legs, including back-to-back 12-darters, to take it 10-9 in a last leg decider. Afterward, Littler put it plainly, "I didn't think I was in the game, I just cannot believe it." The tournament wasn't done with him yet. Semi-final against Gary Anderson, a 2-time world champion, and Littler trailed 13-9 before rallying to level at 14-14, hitting 380s across the final 2 legs to close out 16-15. The final against Martin Lukeman lasted under 35 minutes. 2 legs down early, Littler then won 15 consecutive legs, closing out 16-3 with a match average of 107.08. Across the entire tournament, his average sat at 104.99, the 3rd highest in Grand Slam history, and this was his first PDC ranking major title. This is the moment that turned Luke Littler from a teenage darts prodigy into a name the whole country knew. Ranked 164 in the world and entering as a 66-1 outsider, the 16-year-old walked into Alexandra Palace in December 2023 and opened his World Championship debut against Christian Kist with a 3-dart average of 106.12, the highest average by any debutant in World Championship history. From there, the run escalated fast. Former world champion Raymond van Barneveld was beaten 4-1. Arsenal stars Declan Rice and Aaron Ramsdale asked for his autograph at the venue. Brendan Dolan was demolished 5-1 in the quarter-final, and the semi-final win over Rob Cross averaged around 106, pulled in 1.79 million viewers with a peak of 2.32 million, which was more than the Ryder Cup. Littler reached the final at 16 years and 347 days old, the youngest finalist in PDC World Championship history, beating the previous record by over 4 years. His opponent was world number 1 Luke Humphries, and after taking a 4-2 lead in sets, Littler missed a crucial double for 5-2 in the 7th set and eventually lost 7-4. Losing 7-4, he still averaged 101.13 and hit 170 checkout, walking away with £200,000. 4.8 million viewers watched that final on Sky Sports, the highest ever non-football audience in Sky Sports history, at 143% above the previous year's numbers. Google's end-of-year data named Littler the most searched athlete in the United Kingdom in all of 2024, ahead of Lamine Yamal, Simone Biles and Jude Bellingham. PDC President Barry Hearn called the whole phenomenon Littlermania, and Littler had only turned 17 2 weeks before the run began. On the 23rd of May 2024, at the O2 Arena in London, Luke Humphries stood across the stage from Luke Littler in the Premier League final, and Littler arrived having topped the league phase with 40 points across the season. In the 11th leg, he hit 180, another 180, then closed with treble 20, treble 19, double 12, making him only the second player in history to hit a 9-dart finish in a Premier League final, the other being Phil Taylor. The O2 came apart. Littler won 11-7, averaging 105.6, the 4th highest winning average in a Premier League final, and pocketed £275,000. At 17 years and 123 days old, that made him the youngest player to win a PDC major tournament, just 4 months into his first professional season. Wayne Mardle, for his part, had already said Littler was more impressive at 17 than Michael van Gerwen had been at the same age. On the 16th of November 2025, by reaching the Grand Slam of Darts final, Luke Littler displaced Luke Humphries at the top of the world rankings, becoming the number 1 ranked player on the planet at 18 years and 299 days old. Michael van Gerwen had set the previous record at 24 years and 251 days back in 2014, and Littler didn't just break it, he beat it by more than 5 years. Then he played the final against the man he'd just overtaken. Wins came on 167 checkout and 160 on double 20 for a break of throw that sent the crowd into a frenzy, and Littler closed it out 16-11 to retain the Grand Slam title. The month before, Humphries had already been beaten 6-1 in the World Grand Prix final, and a week after the Grand Slam, Littler added the Players' Championship finals. At some point during the season, Humphries was spotted punching Littler's arm in mock frustration after losing another major to him, and Littler just laughed. Afterward, Littler told reporters, "I am the best in the world, I can finally say it." July 2025, the Winter Gardens in Blackpool, and the World Matchplay final against James Wade, a veteran 8-time major winner who opened the match as if the game was already over. 5 legs, 5 wins, 5-0 to Wade. What followed was something between a correction and a statement. Littler won the next 5 legs with an average of 113.86 across that burst, all 5 without giving Wade a single dart at a double, then levelled at 5-5 and never looked back. The final scoreline was 18-13. His match average landed at 107.24. He put up 17 maximums for a World Matchplay final record, and his tournament total of 64 maximums broke Adrian Lewis's previous record of 56. Winning that title at 18 made him the youngest World Matchplay champion in history, and it also completed the PDC Triple Crown, World Championship, Premier League, and World Matchplay. Only 4 players had ever managed that before: Phil Taylor, Michael van Gerwen, Gary Anderson, and Luke Humphries. Littler became the 5th. Mark Webster put it clearly on Sky Sports after the final. "Luke's got that presence. When you used to play Phil Taylor, Michael van Gerwen, they had that presence before they got on the stage, and he's got that now. One day before the World Matchplay final, on the 26th of July 2025, Luke Littler was losing his semi-final against Josh Rock 5 legs down, possibly 6-1 by some accounts, and being taken apart. Then came leg 8. Both players traded back-to-back 180s, 12 perfect darts between them before Littler stepped up for his final visit. Treble 20, treble 17, double 15. A 9-dart finish, and not just any 9-darter. This was the first televised PDC leg in which every single dart thrown by both players was perfect, all 15 darts, from the opening throw to the double. Wayne Mardle called it the second best leg you will ever see. The match turned immediately. Littler won 8 of the next 10 legs to lead 11-9. Rock pulled it back to 14-12, and Littler closed out 17-14 with an average of 107.5. Rock averaged 104. Combined, 29 maximums between them in a single match. A world matchplay record, 15 of those belonging to Littler. 5-0 down, and he won it by producing the most perfect leg ever seen on a darts stage. On the 3rd of January 2025 at Alexandra Palace, Luke Littler faced Michael van Gerwen in the PDC World Championship final, and arriving having lost the year before from a winning position, there was nothing about his performance to suggest history would repeat itself. A 4-0 lead in sets, clinical and controlled at 17 years old, and Littler closed it out 7-3, averaging 102.73 with a 56% checkout rate. Van Gerwen, who had beaten him before in head-to-heads, managed just 3 sets. At 17 years and 347 days, Littler became the youngest world champion in the history of darts, beating the record set by Jelle Klaassen at the BDO in 2006 and breaking Van Gerwen's PDC record set at 24, earning £500,000 in the process. A year earlier, in the same venue, in the same final, Littler had missed a crucial double and lost from a winning position against Humphries. Against Van Gerwen, no such chance was offered. His post-match interview drew widespread praise for being grounded and direct, speaking about wanting to eventually break Phil Taylor's record of 16 world titles. During the tournament itself, on the 21st of December against Ryan Meikle, Littler had hit a 140.91 set average, winning legs in 11, 10 and 11 darts, the highest set average in World Championship history. On the 3rd of January 2026 at Alexandra Palace, Luke Littler walked out for his 3rd consecutive World Championship final, this time against Gian van Veen, the young Dutch player who had reached the final via a remarkable run through the draw. The match lasted 43 minutes, 7-1 to Littler, averaging 106.02, 16 maximums, 170 checkout during the match, and 147 on double 15 to seal it. One set dropped in the entire final. The prize was £1 million, the largest in the history of professional darts, and the title made Littler only the 4th player in PDC history to win back-to-back World Championships after Phil Taylor, Adrian Lewis and Gary Anderson. Only the 2nd player after Taylor to reach the final in each of his first 3 appearances. Across the entire 2025-26 tournament, only 4 sets were dropped, and coming into January, he had already won the Grand Slam, the Players' Championship Finals, the World Grand Prix, and the UK Open in the 12 months prior, while signing a 10-year deal with Target Darts worth up to £20 million in the same month. After the ceremony, he bought Apple AirPods for every member of Target Darts staff. Luke Humphries, the player who beat Littler in his very first World Championship final back in January 2024, watched from the sidelines and delivered what might be the most honest assessment of all. I said to him at the end, I don't think he has a heart. He never folds under pressure. You try your hardest to put him under it, but he never folds. It may be premature, but I think he's the greatest darts player that's ever lived. Humphries is 30, Littler is 18. 12 PDC major titles, 2 world championships, a triple crown, the youngest world number 1 in history, the highest set average in World Championship history, comebacks from 5-0 down in finals, 9 darters in Premier League finals, and the most perfect leg ever televised. 20 to 45 minutes of practice a day, sleeping until 1 in the afternoon, staying up until 3 in the morning on an Xbox, arriving at the World Championships without a practice board, which Phil Taylor described as mental. Wayne Mardle has admitted he sometimes forgets to commentate during Littler's matches because he's too busy watching in awe. Before his 19th birthday, Littler had already done things that Phil Taylor didn't achieve until his 30s, and that Michael van Gerwen hasn't matched in total across an entire career. That's the honest summary of what these 10 moments add up to. After becoming the youngest world #1 in history, he said it himself: "I am the best in the world. I can finally say it. Based on everything we've seen, there's no serious argument against it, and he's only just getting started."